Hi guys, we're here with Adam Sessler, former co-host of G4 TV's X-Play and current executive producer at
and
Revision?
editor-in-chief. Yeah, they just kind of, it's the internet. You throw
different
names at
titles,
people.
exactly. So we were talking about this earlier, but you said it's been a while since you've been to Austin?
Yeah, the last time I was here, I know I was doing an interview with Warren Spector about the original Deus Ex.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's after it came out. So I think that would put it 2000, maybe 2001. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So I guess it's been almost to the day a year since you left or were fired or
You
whatever.
might be right.
Because I think it was April, wasn't it?
I know it was in April.
Right.
And we're in...
Early
You might
April.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
I should pour one out for this dead homie right here.
But what's the transition to Rev3 been like? How is broadcasting over YouTube different than, say, a TV station?
I think that the tough part about the YouTube is it's not Nielsen, which was this strange, unexplainable rubric that would kind of measure your success. Here, it's right there.
Right.
It's those numbers and the obsessive refreshing of a page. If there's a piece of content that I'm really happy in,
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
and obviously, comment sections.
Oh,
One nice thing that
God.
television did afford me was a great sense of distance from, sort of the heaving masses out there
Right.
of opinions. And I still am of the mind that comment sections do not necessarily reflect a majority opinion. But even after all these years, it's pretty hard to just tell that in my head. Because when you see that many people that want to kill you because you complained about a God of War trophy, you start to think that really is representative of the majority.
what's something you feel is lacking within games journalism?
Something... I don't want to speak too much for my colleagues because I like them all. And okay, I'm going to preface this with one thing, and then we're going to get to
Okay.
what I actually think. There's so... With game journalism, especially recently, there's all this kind of people are reporting on other people. They think there's all these problems, this whole sense of corruption. And I find it odd sometimes because it once again implies that there's a loss of purity.
Right.
And it's something that I don't even see in actual journalism. And no, I do not consider what I do to be that much of journalism. It's video games. And I find myself more of a pundit than I do as a journalist. And I think it's because we're games, and we kind of know in the back of our heads. I'm going to say I really don't like to speak for my colleagues. That in the back of our head that I try to say that I'm more serious than what games journalism would kind of represent to someone who wasn't in the know. That there's this feeling of policing, and if you take a look at the broader swath of journalism, there's going to be people out there that do things that are questionable in their ethics, that are questionable just in their approach and their attitude, and that's part of the ecosystem. And that it's not really for me to judge them. It's for the audience to decide, okay, if you like that, that's fine. There are things that I will grumble about to my closer colleagues about certain practices, and that we feel that maybe it's impacting our ability to do our reporting. But once again, it is people's prerogative, and it's really for sort of the audience to decide if they want to stay with something or not. Having said that, I would like to see in game journalism that we kind of pull back, and once again, this is happening in a lot of journalism, that everything has to be presented as contest. And that everything is like, this has to be better than this, or is it going to be a fight? I mean, this goes back generations. But almost is like playing to the fanboy mentality.
Right.
And I think doesn't do our audience well. I would also love to see more efforts, and there are a lot being done by a lot of different sites trying to create a better maturation in behavior, in attitude, in critical thinking from our audiences, because right now what we're presenting, not as journalists but with our audiences, is not the best representation of games. It's a pretty ugly, nasty thing what happens in those comment section, and we can make fun of it all we want, but it's not going to help us in the long run. It's never going to sort of put us into the larger social spectrum if this is kind of what the gaming audience chooses to represent itself as. And I think there are efforts that we can do on the writing side to kind of force behavior and thought that's a little bit more cogent and pleasant.
Right. Okay. Well, cool. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
This was a lot of fun.
No, it was. Thank you.
Thanks.